Alright, we out here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Off Mic Ike. Had some technical difficulties, but we got there in the end, and I suppose that's all that matters, right? Got some pretty serious stories to talk about this week, so we're gonna open up with some light-hearted ones, I suppose, is the best way to go about it. Oh yeah. Hello, Random Tomato. Welcome to the chat. How you doing? Let's get my ugly mug on the screen. Let me see if I can... Whoop. Yeah, there we go. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Whew. Alright, I'm over-caffeinated, over-nicotined. I'm tweaking a little bit. I'm rearing to go. Let's just put it that way. Let me see if I can get my microphone in a place where it's... Nah? Okay. Forget about it. That's better. That's better. Why didn't I do that from the beginning? Now you can't even see it. Let's go. Alright, well, welcome back to another episode of Off Mic Ike. I am Ike. If you're new here, welcome. If you're old here, welcome back. Thank you. Thank you very much. I worked on it quite hard. Took me a while to grow. That's actually not true. I just sat here and let it extend itself. Might turn up the music a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Alright. So, first story of tonight. I suppose I gotta sit here and ask how everyone's going. What's new, what's funky, what's fresh. For me, I've been making shorts, I've been clipping the content, we've been clip farming, clip monkeying this shit out here. And it's been alright. It's been going okay. We've been doing some numbers. We've been doing a bit of this and a bit of that. Let me just continue to clip farm, see if I can get some numbers out here. Damn, who put these beats on? They fire as fuck. It was literally me. It was literally me. But yeah, so we've been clip farming a little bit. They've been doing some numbers, so I was hoping maybe we do a little funnel marketing. We do a little MLM out here. So I want to start off with a couple of light-hearted topics tonight because the last one that I have in store is a little bit more heavy. It's a little bit more intense. But you guys hear about the Louvre heist? $157 million robbed in one afternoon. In France, nonetheless. Of course it's in France. It's the fucking Louvre. Where the fuck else would it be? But they just walked in, grabbed some shit, and walked out. 2 people have been arrested recently, over the last 24 hours, which is crazy. The men arrested are from... Now, don't kill me if I butcher this, but I'm gonna butcher this. Seine Saint-Denis. I don't speak French. I don't want to speak French. An outer region of Paris. Further reports state the suspects are known to police. So you're telling me that these guys who robbed the Louvre have robbed other stuff before. They've been known. Their energies have been known to the police. Of course. You fucking surprised? Shock horror. But they finally caught him. 4 thieves wielding power tools, with 2 cutting the glass of the display cases which held the jewels. Now this is the stuff they've been stealing. This is the stuff they got away with, ladies and gentlemen. These are the goods right here. And there's been a lot of people posting on TikTok being like, hey, I just came across this really fire necklace, but I can't load it off to any single fucking pawn shop I go into. Nobody's taking it. Yeah, it's a hot item, brother. That's why. Yo, what's up, randomizer? Welcome. Welcome to the stream. So, 157... Damn, the stream just started. My fucking camera died. This is awesome. I feel like this is indicative of things yet to come. Okay, let me fix this shit. Let me fix this shit real quick. My technologically illiterate ass. Alright, is that the go? Is that what we're doing right now? Let me see. Alright, yep, there we go. There we go, we back. We're so back. We're so on, dude. But yeah, so this motherfucker just like straight up stole a shit ton of money. I've been here longer than you, child. Yeah, so true. So true, look at that. We got random beef in the chat. But yeah, so they just walked in, power tools in hand, took that shit. I need to get the playbook from these motherfuckers. But what are you gonna do when you steal $157 million worth of diamonds, dude? Mining diamonds. I don't understand what the game plan was. Like, do you just go, hey, okay, I got him now, that's it? Or do you go to the black market? You know what I mean? I don't understand what the broad game plan was. They took the fucking crown that was Napoleon III's wife's. Thoughts on Bluey? Fake Australian propaganda. Australians aren't actually blue healers. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't fuck with Bluey. I say that like I've ever watched an episode of Bluey, but I haven't. I don't get it. I don't understand the appeal. Mind you, I'm also not like 7 years old, so maybe I don't know the Bluey lore. Maybe I just don't. I'm not in depth enough with Bluey. Who knows? The rest of the pieces have not been recovered and risk to be broken apart. Their precious metal settings melted down. They better melt down these fucking necklaces and shit. I find it crazy. There was a photo going around of one of the guys they thought was, let me see if I can find it. Louvre guy suit. He kind of looked like Ike Palmer back in the day. Back at the original Ike Palmer. I don't want fucking AI mode. Yeah, this guy kind of looked fire as fuck. Not gonna lie. Holy shit, Ike Palmer was seen at the Louvre? You're telling me I was there? Two worlds colliding? They're never gonna tear us apart? Look at this fucking guy. He's dripped out. He's fire as fuck. I reckon this guy's the one who did it. He stole it. He thinks this the French Connection or something. I don't know, I haven't seen the French Connection. Might be slightly related to the topic at hand. I just gotta say, hang on, wait. I gotta bring this back up again. That's something you would wear, so real. Just missing the pipe. Yeah, the pipe or the cigarette. Considering this is in France, I find it surprising that there is neither in this image at all whatsoever. However, I've got one critique. Hat, fire as fuck. Overcoat with the upturned collar, I don't know about that. Brother, just put the collar down. The two-tone thing going on, don't mind it. Would have been better if the tie matched the pants, so maybe a darker color tie. But this tie clip here. You see this fucking tie clip? This does not belong here. All I'm saying is, for it to be sticking out like that, how do I... Okay, whoop, zoomed in on the wrong thing. You see this shit? You see this shit? This is wrong. This is just straight up wrong. Don't ever wear a tie clip like this, ladies and gentlemen. And I hate to be the purveyor of fashion while I'm wearing a fucking Beer Lau t-shirt, but if you're gonna wear a tie clip, don't wear it like that. And especially don't wear it with a fucking vest. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Besides that, everything else, kind of fire. Kind of fire. I wonder what watch he's wearing. I wonder if this watch is stolen too. Let's figure that out, ladies and gentlemen. Who am I kidding? I wish I had half the drip this guy had. I wish I was half as fly as that motherfucker. Excuse me. How very rude of me. Now, I got another topic I want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Sort of relating to assets, not necessarily being stolen, but this has been crushing for a lot of people. A lot of people in the online sphere. Now, a few streams ago, now I say a few streams ago, in reality it was probably like maybe a year and a half ago. I've been acting like I've been streaming this whole fucking year. Like I didn't just start last week again. However, I've spoken about a little asset, a little digital asset you can invest in, which probably isn't the greatest idea now. I'd wait a couple weeks for it to dip a little bit lower and then start buying these CSGO skin cases. Sorry, not CSGO, CS2. It's the same fucking thing, let's be real. They just reskinned the game. This is like Overwatch 2. They just added some different fucking shaders to it. So if we have a look, right... Counter-Strike 2 players are reeling after an update from Valve saw the value of formerly rare skins plummet, crashing the Steam marketplace and causing some players to lose serious money. This is what happens when you misinvest your assets in the wrong shit, ladies and gentlemen. This knife, worth nothing. It's just doing the NFT story. It just took longer to get to that point, basically. It was a $2 billion crash. Billion with a B. Billion with a B. No rug pull here. I don't think Gabe Newell's sitting there like a fly on shit, rubbing his hands together going, hey, I just made some serious money. I don't know if that was his plan all along, but he just pulled the biggest fucking rug pull ever seen to man. The biggest NFT scam. This is bigger than the Louvre heist. That's all I'm saying. Now, because it's dropped so much, and don't listen to me because I'm some guy on the internet talking about investment in stocks and monetary assets or whatever. If you take your monetary and investment advice from a guy named Ike Palmer sitting on the internet talking shit, then if you lose a lot of money, that ain't on you. I mean, hang on, that is on you. That ain't on me. That ain't on the content creator of which you're taking your financial advice to. I recommend you go to a fucking accountant. But 5.9 to 4.2 billion overnight, right? Now's the time to buy a formerly $2,000 skin for 80 bucks. You stock that shit up. You stock that shit up and in a few months, you're going back up to the moon. You're getting hundreds of dollars, dude. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I'm not doing it. I'm not ballsy enough to make that kind of investment, so to speak. I don't know if it's actually a good idea, but that's just something I've been mulling over a little bit in the back of my mind. I think it's probably a very likely candidate to make you some serious money if you're willing to risk it, you know. As Warren Buffett said, don't invest anything you're not happy to lose. Ah, Falcon TNT, welcome to the chat, brother. How you doing? How you doing? We're talking about skins, CSGO skins, CS2 skins. Now, I don't know how true this is, but allegedly there are a couple of students in China who took this dip in prices very, very hard. There's about $20,000 this student in China lost. Now, I've read in some places that this guy ended up jumping off of a building, but in other places it says there's no actually recorded. This is AI fact checker on X, so take it with a grain of salt either way. But allegedly, this $20,000 loss is making people do tricks from the Great Depression. We're about to hit a... This is like economic regression to the nth degree. Yes, the CS version of Terra Luna coin. What the fuck is Terra Luna coin? People be dropping shit in my chat. The CS version of Tok Tua coin. I'm literally googling Terra Luna coin lore. Holy shit. God damn. Yeah, basically it is that. You know, it's the rise and fall of NFTs in real time. It was a stable coin that went to zero. Obviously it wasn't that fucking stable, was it? Jesus. Stable coin my ass. But further on in this article, it says, why are Counter-Strike 2 skins so valuable? Well, they're fucking not. They're not anymore. What are you talking about? Now, the one thing I do sort of question is, was CS:GO skins, did you port them over to CS2? Or was it like all the ones that you had in CS:GO are separate to the ones you have in CS2? That's literally what I was thinking. See, like, it's a perfect time. It's the perfect time to start buying up $2,000 skins for 80 bucks. I don't actually know. Let's see. Continue down on this Forbes article, because Forbes is the most reliable fucking source known to man, apparently. Let's see. So why did it dip? Is it because he went, everybody can have these? I cannot wait to get a Gamma Doppler Fade low float for $34 AUD. It's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen. I'm telling you. And like I said, don't take financial advice from me. Use your own discretion and don't invest in stuff you're not happy to lose. But look, this paired with the fucking crypto bear market at the moment, everybody's losing a lot of money. I'm just waiting until the actual currency starts tanking, whether it AUD or USD. Like an NFT investment or unstable crypto coin, all of that value can melt into pixels overnight, dude. As somebody much wiser than me once said, it's just pixels on a screeny. That's some real old Ike Palmer lore. If you've been here since 2016, you know that. I think maybe 2017 to 2018, I don't know. The merging thing also reduces the item pool, so they make more money on people opening more crates. Ah. See, I still don't understand why it tanked so hard. Call me stupid. I'm reading this. Change the long-standing rules, allow players to trade red skins for gold skins, turning the market topsy-turvy. Holy shit, okay. So they get low items to merge for the higher ones. Yep, that's fucked up. That's how to absolutely destroy your market value. So they're making more money whilst kids in China are losing $20,000. Apparently Russia and China's GDP dropped drastically after this happened. Who knew that CSGO skin or CS2 skins were holding up actual global GDPs, dude? That's like saying ATM machine, global. I think because the reds were able to be traded into gold, meaning they were inherently more valuable. Killing both red and gold skins, I guess. Yeah, so it's just taken like, when you find a gold scar in Fortnite and you put gold scars everywhere, it makes them pointless. As far as I understand. That's the best equivalent I can come up with because I'm kind of slow in the head. I ain't all up here, you know. I'm not quick on the uptake, let's just put it that way. Let's have a look. $2 billion. I just find it so crazy how one update can wipe out $2 billion. You know? Like somebody just pushed the big red button. Gabe Newell said, if everyone is super, then no one is super. Yeah, basically. That's the lowest common denominator equivalent. So everybody can understand. I just find it crazy how Gabe Newell can sit there on a computer and push the big red button and completely ruin people's investments. Although, like I said before, if you're investing in game skins, I don't think that's the wisest idea. Ever heard of the S&P 500? Ever heard of stocks? Ever heard of day trading? And the lovely world of that won't make you want to pull out your fucking hair? Try that. Try that next time, China. That's a bad clip. I love China. I love China. China's awesome. Yeah, putting $20,000 into video game currency is wild. Yeah, it's like buying fucking $150,000 worth of V-Bucks. I don't know, why do I keep comparing it to fucking Fortnite? It's like it's the last game I fucking play. It's like buying $150,000 worth of shark cards in GTA 5 when GTA 6 is about to drop. Well, sometime in the next 10 years. Look up the story of how the China prison was forcing inmates to play WoW. What the fuck? That's a fate worse than CIA torture and death. Chad from Cold Ones would love it though. Chinese prisoners were forced into gold farming, building up credits on online games such as World of Warcraft. They were forced into gold farming. I'm laughing because this is so ridiculous. Was it StarCraft that had that 100k planet or something? Damn, you guys know more than I do. This is crazy. Chinese prisoners were forced to farm. So all I'm hearing is they ain't as communist as they like to say they are. 12-hour forced shifts or something. Yeah, forcing to gold farm. We work 12-hour shifts in the Oh, another Forbes article. Perfect. Let's get on that. This article is more than 10 years old. So you're telling me Chinese prisoners were forced to open loot crates on CS2 and that's why their GDP crumbled. They held it in assets such as Doppler Fade, Karambit. I don't know, did I say that right? I haven't played CS in years. Manual labor is as old as prisons themselves, but as it turns out, it might not be the most profitable use for a locked up inmate. Yeah, why get them to start making dams and bridges and you gotta give them dynamite at that point to terraform. Why not just give them a fucking really good PC and make them farm gold on WoW? You're telling me a prisoner mined this gold? Wow. Dude. An unknown number of Chinese prisons across the country have been forced not only to do physical labor but electronic as well. Can you imagine if they took their prisoners and went, hey, alright, you're going to be day trading. You're going to be day trading now, and if you don't put a good stop loss and you lose this much money on an investment, we're shooting you. That's executable by death. Executable by death? Punishable by death. I've had too much coffee today. I've had way too much caffeine. I'm tweaking out. I can't even speak him properly. Particularly from China, but this is a whole new level of insanity. In my opinion, Blizzard hasn't done enough to combat this. Of course they won't. I think they're making money from it too. Let's be real. As they're content with their title, just making tons of money, ignoring the fact that it's 100,000 people's full-time job in China to help corrupt their system. These are the stories we know too. Yeah, God forbid the ones that we actually don't know. But all I'm saying is, like, they're creating... Is this not the thing that a lot of communist people are saying shouldn't happen in a communist country? Unpaid, forced manual labor and digital labor in order to profit the country. I don't know. This is like the equivalent of, like, in the 1800s, the gold rush in California, just throwing a whole bunch of Chinese people into the mines and saying, alright, we found a good gold vein, it's your turn. Go down in there and mine that shit. Oh wait, hang on, that did happen. Whoops. That's a bad equivalent. I just find it crazy. I just find all this shit crazy. This shit can't be real. Holy shit, Chad. Holy shit, Chad. Is this real? What the fuck? Holy shit. You're telling me they lost $2 billion, Chad? Holy fuck. Can somebody confirm this, Chad? I cannot think without my chat. Holy shit. I need to breathe after that. That's fucking crazy. This is gonna be going insane. Now, I'm curious as to what Falcon TNT was talking about with that $100,000 what is it called? StarCraft planet. 100k StarCraft planet. I've never played either of these games, by the way. Oh, it was a tournament. Or a specific non-existent location in the game. Okay. Alright, so this is AI overview, so give me a second to fact check this, because it's probably not right, let's be honest. I love AI. I love AI so much. Alright, can we... me see if I can fix this up a little bit. Yeah, that's better. That'll work. That'll clip out good. ChatGPT? I love ChatGPT. Everybody I know uses ChatGPT. Who voted him in? Actually, it's not him anymore, is it? People still loving on Boris Johnson. Loving on him? I'm just gonna play the audio.
I love AI. Do you use AI? Absolutely. Do you use ChatGPT? Do you love ChatGPT? I love ChatGPT. I love.
That can't be real. He has to be clip farming. He has to be clip farming, dude.
ChatGPT is fantastic.
It's fantastic. ChatGPT? You love ChatGPT? AI. AI. He kind of sounds like, you know, you get a random phone call from a number and they're like, your internet ain't working, or like your Microsoft account has been compromised. Still doesn't beat Nigel saying big chungus. It does not. I love that clip on Cameo. There's a, I just don't. Once Cold Ones gets hold of the Boris Johnson, the Boris Johnson cameo, it's fucking over for everyone. Planet Calypso from the game Entropia. Damn, we got Falcon TNT doing the research for me. Get him a part of the Ike Palmer team. You telling me $100,000 bought this planet? The fuck? What does the wrench mean? I think it means the same thing as it does on Twitch. He's about to ask me to make him a mod. He wants to level up, dude. Yeah, alright. He didn't even have to ask. He didn't even have to ask, and I'm like, okay. No, no. Apparently it was 6 mil? 6 mil? For a fucking... I hate this world. Pixels on a screeny. People are paying 6 mil for pixels on a screeny, dude. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. I'm losing my mind that people would just go, yeah, this is worth this much. And that was in like 2003 when the game came out. I don't like this. I don't like this world no more. I don't like this shit no more, man. This shit ain't funny no more. I've had enough. Let me just check to see if my my main camera's back online. Probably isn't, but... Hey, it is. How much battery I got? No, the battery about to die again. Fuck my life. Alright, so I think, what do you guys think? Do we get into the meat and potatoes of tonight's stream? It's a little bit heavy. So we're gonna have to sort of get our game face on, because it's kind of fucked up. As far as I know, it seems like Emeru has had a real tough week. In fact, not just a tough week, but a tough 3 years. If you have been keeping up with internet law as of late, that's a horrible way to say it, because, like, you know, internet law, like, they're real people. These are real people involved, but, like, if you've been keeping up with, like, popular streamers on Twitch, and I know how much I say I hate Twitch, it all feels justified now. I feel like I've called it years ago, but not to use this as like a fucking soapbox, but apparently Emeru came out with a video yesterday, or did a stream yesterday, talking about how Miskif, over the last 3 years, has stalked, harassed, sexually assaulted, and blackmailed her over the last 3 years. They were in a relationship, so this makes it worse, even. It'd be much worse if he didn't even know her at all, but the reason I found out about this was because I saw this tweet from Ice Poseidon's, and I found the verbiage kind of interesting that he used. I've always said Twitch streamers have tons of skeletons in their closet. Wait until people find out about about everyone else at the top and the corruption and weirdness behind the scenes. If you thought Hollywood was bad, wait until you see more. Remember, the CEO is best friends with all these people on personal levels as well, and everyone knows everything about each other from gossip behind the scenes, so when something comes out and everyone acts surprised, it's always an act. I don't know if it's because I don't like him, but he's always seemed really weird and off. Just had no way of proving it. I've seen a lot of different comments about that. I mean, I think it was sometime last year, mid last year, he was covering for another guy. It was a Slacker, another guy in OTK who was accused of sexual assault. He was covering for him. So you're telling me that the guy who was covering for somebody else in his streaming clique sexually assaulted someone? I'm not here to say, oh shocker, but oh shocker. Like, I'm not particularly surprised. It's been known that this guy is a bit of a fucking douchebag. You know what I mean? But with what Ice Poseidon says here, it's kind of, not surprising, but this top comment kind of got me going, yeah, they got a point. So you're admitting to knowing a bunch of horrendous, potentially criminal shit, and you're just sitting there letting it continue? What a profile in courage, Lemaire. So, basically, a whole bunch of people knew. It's like any sort of industry. If you have, like, your favorite comfort streamer who's, like, wholesome and goody-goody, odds are that's a character that they're trying to portray to their audience. And they're kind of a shitbag in real life. Ice is also a weirdo, to be honest. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, he's even more of a weirdo because he knew that there was some freaky shit going on, like, in the upper echelons of the Twitch sphere, and just sat back and went, I can't say anything about it. It might damage my career. What is he doing these days, Ice Poseidons? Is he still calling fake bomb threats on planes that he's about to get on? Sorry, that wasn't him. That was his audience. But still, I think it's sort of... It implies the kind of character he is. Wasn't Miss also involved with that deepfake porn scandal? Yes! Yes! You think about all these crazy situations that have to do with crazy... the cutie Cinderella deepfake situation with... Fuck, what was his name? What was his name? He kind of disappeared. Actually, I'm gonna have to look up my own lore on this one. I saw him at PAX 2 years ago. Didn't even know it was him. That's how influential Miskif is, ladies and gentlemen. If that's who you're talking about, or Ice Poseidons. So yeah, from what I've seen, like, Emery's been going through it with everything that happened at TwitchCon this weekend, and then, sorry, last weekend, no, Ice Poseidons. Okay, that makes sense. To be fair, he kind of fell off. But with everything that's been happening with her over the last few weeks, it's tough. But I suppose if that thing at TwitchCon never had happened, she wouldn't have spoken out about this situation. I'm not trying to make it seem like, you know, silver linings and all that, but it was probably a matter of time because a lot of people in the Twitch community, the upper echelons, the Twitch 1%, knew about Miskif being a bit of a freak and a bit of a weirdo. I've got some clips from the actual stream that she did that have been posted on Twitter, but I want to reiterate, if you want to see the full thing, unclipped, unedited, the link is in the description of this stream, and I recommend after you watch this stream, go watch that for the full context. It's pretty big, but the blackmail thing I think is real fucking funny, but we'll get, not funny, but like real fucking ironic, but we'll get into that. Fuck, what was his name? Was it Slacker who was doing the deepfake thing? Nah, Atrioc. Atrioc. He's the guy who got busted. My brother pointed it out. You were just chilling with Ice Poseidons at PAX and you didn't even realize. He was IRL streaming. He was IRL streaming.
Make sure we...
Look, all I'm going to say is there's a lot of crazy shit going on at Twitch. Like, Dan Clancy just not giving a fuck about most of this shit, I think is the craziest part. He knows his platform's cooked, but he doesn't seem to give a shit. Alright. So this is the first clip of what Emaru said on her stream. He was in the line for a Euros, 2 people behind me. That's crazy. Brushing shoulders with the Twitch degens.
Today, I'm finally going to be opening up about the psychological and domestic abuse, stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that Miskif has done towards me, and some of these issues which are still ongoing. For the entirety of this year, I have attempted to separate myself from him and not talk about him at all, and not talk about this issue and just not make it a public thing. I always tried my best to keep this to myself, but like I said,
I don't mean to clip farm, but I'm going to pause this because this is the best way that she possibly could have gone about it, because she doesn't want to put it into, she doesn't want to make it public drama, is what I've gotten from this. And in the full clip, she says and explains that she's reading from like a dossier, so to speak, that she actually gave to her lawyer, and her lawyer's gone through it and said, okay, like this stuff is actually, there is evidence that it happened. You know what I mean? So she did what every other Twitch streamer or content creator has never done when it comes to controversy, and actually spoken to a lawyer and said, look, what can I say? What can't I say? What's a good idea or a good way to go about it? This is the best thing that she possibly could have done. Also considering that, like, she says later on in the clips that, like, if she can come out about it and go, hey, like, maybe don't associate with this guy, and stops this from happening to other people, then I suppose she's contributed a net good to the Twitch sphere, so to speak.
Said I feel like it's gone to the point, which I'll explain later, that I feel like it just has to be done. And I have always believed in not condemning people or starting drama online. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to be asking, why am I doing this and why now?
So as far as I can gather, she decided to do it now because of everything that happened at TwitchCon, and obviously it sort of came to a head, and all the stuff that's been going on. Allegedly, he was stalking her around at parties, Twitch streamer parties, and I might be misquoting here, but there was a lot of stuff that sort of came out that she said was like, after they broke up, she was trying to distance herself from him for a year. For a year, right? At what point do you realize, as the other person in this situation, shit, maybe this person don't want anything to do with me. Maybe this person don't want to be associated with me. Leave it at that. You know what I mean? Like, there's some messages she shows in her stream of like massive paragraphs, and I'm talking like he's written several college theses worth of words to try and either win her back or just trying to have a conversation with her. And I think at some point you kind of got to realize, look, maybe she don't want anything to do with you, champion. Maybe you just need to like step the fuck off and reel it back. You know what I mean? Especially considering everything that happened. And then he goes forward and says to a lot of the people who work for her or know her or are friends with her, and says, yeah, I'm gonna fucking go nuclear. I'm gonna blackmail the shit out of her. And she talks about that briefly here.
I don't want what happened to me or what has happened to other people because of him to happen to other people. And I don't believe he will ever stop behaving the way he does. But regardless, yeah, like I said, one of the main reasons I decided to do this stream is to come out about all of this because I can't hold on to it any longer because it feels wrong to do so. And an honorable mention reason for why I'm doing this is that for a while, he has been indirectly threatening me through my friends and people that I work with. They've informed me that he said that if I ever talked about anything he did, he would try to create a smear campaign against me in retaliation. I was told that he even approached other streamers who were close with us back when we lived together, asking them if they would join with him, and they all refused.
All I'm gonna say is, if you're so vitriolic about an ex-relationship and a situation that transpired that you have to say to employees and friends of your ex that you're going to do a massive smear campaign and you're going to go quote-unquote nuclear, like, get a fucking grip. Get a grip. After everything that you put her through, you ain't going to fucking roll over and just go, alright, that's that, let it be. And you go and do this to other people too. That's the fucking craziest part to me, is that it's not just a sort of localized incident. It's not just like something that happened once and you can move on and learn from it. It's something, there's a traceable consistency within his actions over the last however many years. And mind you, this guy, Miskif, started off as Ice Poseidon's cameraman. So if you're going to sit there and act like, hey, maybe there's no connection here, I feel like I got a fucking corkboard full of yarn behind me with a bunch of pictures tied together. But I may be conspiracy theory as fuck here, but like there's a connection. And Ice Poseidon said it himself. All of these guys got some kind of fucking skeletons in the closet. So if you're going to sit there and act like everybody is so... You're going to laud them. They're the greatest people that ever exist because they stream on Twitch. I don't know. I just think it's a bit silly to have this sort of idolatry view of people who sit in their rooms and play video games all day, or sit in their rooms and watch videos all day. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want people to sit there and laud me as some kind of wholesome, positive guy. That's why I just keep it real, you know? I just say what I think. The Twitch file's coming soon. Nah, they're going to keep pushing it back. Dan Clancy said he announced it, and it's all redacted. It's all pointless to watch. I mean, read.
At TwitchCon, he approached one of my employees, threatening them and saying if I ever talked about him, he would destroy me. Multiple people have told me that his plan was to claim that I kill animals and that I killed my own rabbits, since I had several of my rabbits pass away over the course of 3 years while I lived with him. I'm sure he's probably listening now, and it's probably going to come as quite a shock to him that this information made its way back to me and that I've known for months. But if you try to threaten me to stay quiet, especially using my poor dead animals, I'm not going to stay quiet.
See, I think 100% that was the catalyst for her posting this. Absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, not to say like there's a silver lining out of all of this, but it's good that she posted this. It's good that there was actually some acknowledgement of Miskif being a fucking dirtbag. And I just find it so crazy that, like, stalking, blackmail, sexual harassment, sexual assault, and telling people who she's employed and who are her friends that he's going to go nuclear and completely destroy her. Oh, she killed her rabbits. It's not like she actively killed her rabbits. They died. You know what I mean? It just seems like real weird, like like a dream kind of situation. Yeah, he was talking to minors, but he cheated in Minecraft. You know what I mean? It's like a weird non sequitur thing to be bringing up as sort of like a, you know, like a weird middle ground to be like, you're gonna tell everybody about all the crazy shit I did to you? Well, think again, because you killed your rabbits. Doesn't work out that way. All right, see you, Random Tomato. Thanks for joining the stream. I'll see you next time, man. All right, we got another clip here. So apparently he's thinking about suing her. Well, she assumes that after that she posted, he's going to try and sue her, and not because he thinks he's going to win, but because it's probably a bit more of a PR kind of thing, just to go, all right, well, like, I tried to do something to make myself look a bit better. I'll let her explain.
And I also wanted to say that I would not be surprised if he tries to sue me for the stream that I did today and for coming out about him. Not because he thinks that he would win, but for PR reasons, like a slap lawsuit. It'd be interesting if that happened, and I wouldn't be opposed to people finding out more of the truth and things that I didn't even talk about today, and what else he's been lying about. And I'm sure there's also plenty of things that even I don't know about. And yeah, there's more things that I didn't even talk about today, but I'm hoping that now that I have this out, this is the last time I ever have to talk about it. And I can be like, okay, I got it out there. I'm not withholding this anymore.
And whilst I hope that is the case, I don't think that's very likely. I feel like she's probably going to have to end up talking about this again in the future, either because other people keep bringing it up or people want clarification onto what actually happened. I don't think this is going to be the last time she's going to have to comment about it. However, I think it's probably best if she tries to stay away from it as much as she can after putting this out there, because there is a lot of other people coming out also saying, hey, he did this and he did that, and it's all concurrent. It all matches up with this account, with what she's saying. I definitely think that the slap lawsuit, he's definitely not going to win, especially if she's run this sort of dossier through a lawyer and gone like, is there anything, because I can absolutely immutably back this up. There's logs and proof that this stuff happened. In fact, it goes to a point where Miskif responds and he goes, yes, all of this happened, which is such a crazy, just like, jump on the computer, absolutely try and hit the stream button, PR, recovery mode, absolutely putting it in savior mode, trying to clean up the pieces. You know what I mean? Yeah, often the victim has to prove the abuser is guilty just because they are enjoyed by others. He'll more than likely get away with this. Oh, absolutely. However, I don't think it unlikely that his viewership's going to drop drastically. In fact, there was one thing she talked about I don't have a clip of it, but she talks about it in the video where he gets really upset because they're playing Rust together, and she gets a bunch more viewers than he does, and he ends the stream, and her chat is filled with like unofficial misraid, and she goes, what the fuck's going on? And then he walks past their room, because they're living together at the time. He walks past their room and goes, that's it. I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I'm gonna game end myself. You kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? If I was friends with other content creators, which, you know, I have been, you don't lose it because they start getting more successful than you. In fact, you should be celebrating with them the fact that they are getting more successful. It's got nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? And if people are not watching your content, it's probably because your content sucks. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, Ike Palmer doesn't get that many viewers, and that's because the Ike Palmer content sucks. But I enjoy doing it. You know what I mean? Whereas if I had another friend who was streaming or making content and they were getting tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of views, good on them. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go to their house and say, that's it. You got 10,000 more views than me. I'm jumping in front of the fucking freeway, dude. I'm going to play hacky sack in the freeway. In fact, there's another instance where she brings up where it's not even got anything to do with her. They'll be in a car going to get food, and he'll start driving 150 miles down the highway, like McSkillet style, and just go, oh, well, I guess we're both dying now. This guy isn't normal in the head. This guy isn't fucking rational, able to... I don't understand what goes through these people's minds. Being a sore loser will never be the way to win. It's a gross way to be. Exactly. Put it more succinctly than I ever could. I think the problem here is, instead of celebrating the wins, especially one, not only of a friend that you live with, but your partner, somebody that you are romantically involved in because your ego is too large to let you step back and enjoy the wins together, regardless of whose they are, is insane. It's fucking crazy to me. I don't understand how you can shoot yourself in the foot so much and go, okay, he's acting like a fucking petulant toddler. I don't get my way, so I'm going to throw a fucking fit. And that's how a lot of these big streamers are. A lot of these big content creators are. They act like petulant children. And it's so fucking embarrassing. Even Asmongold has commented on this whole situation, and he said that there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes with a lot of Twitch streamers that people don't know. I don't understand how anyone in their right mind can just sit on this stuff. With Emeril makes sense because obviously it's greatly affected her, and it's taken her a few years to come out about it, right? And it would have directly impacted her career, right? And her life if she'd come out about this before. So I understand why she would have sat on that. However, people like Ice Poseidons or Asmongold to say, yeah, this is widely known. There are so many freaks and creeps and weirdos, and this sounds like a Turkey Tom thumbnail, but there's so many fucking freaks in this industry, and they're all rubbing shoulders together, and they're all hiding each other's skeletons in the closet. Like Random Tomato said before, the Twitch files are going to be dropping soon. With everything going on at the same time, this is a massive melting pot for Twitch to start losing some investors, perhaps. Not that that's a call to action or a call to arms. I think that it's just something that will happen as a natural consequence of Dan Clancy allegedly actively being a part of covering up a lot of this stuff. Yeah, 100%. Not being on your partner's side for winning is so gross. It's a partnership, not a competition. Yeah, exactly. You build each other up. Instead of having a fucking meltdown that your girlfriend's a better streamer than you and plays games better than you. Like a fucking child. Acting like a child, dude. Alright, let's see what Miskif has to say. In this clip, he's basically confirming that yes, he did talk about he did talk to his Emeru's team and basically said, yeah, I'm gonna go fucking nuclear if she says anything about me, which is crazy behavior. Like, why not just let sleeping dogs lie? She probably wouldn't have put anything out there if you weren't constantly stalking her and threatening her. Like, if you just let it fucking be. If you just gave her the space that she needed, you had the space that you need, instead of being fucking crazy and obsessed. If you just give it a fucking rest, everything might have been alright for you, brother. But obviously that's not how your brain works. That's not how the cuckoo dove's working up here, dude. That's all I'm gonna say. Jesus Christ. At what point do you go, maybe I'm the fucking problem? You know what I mean? What's the common denominator between all of this shit going on?
Can you clarify what, if anything, was said to her team at TwitchCon? I said that if she goes after me, then I will go nuclear. And that is exactly what I said. And that is what's going to happen. Because you can't mess with me anymore. I don't have anything to lose. I'm sorry, I don't. Go after me all you want. I have nothing to lose.
He's got nothing to lose. He's got nothing to lose. At the end of this, he's going to end up like Walter White talking to Skylar in the last episode of Breaking Bad. If I have to hear that you did this for the family one more time, I did it for me. I liked it. I was good at it. Like, him actively admitting to saying that he's going to go nuclear He obviously didn't run this through a PR fucking training tool. He didn't run this through a lawyer like Emeru did. Like I'm saying, Emeru handled this the best possible way that she could have. Miskif kind of shit the fucking bed. Just going like, he was doing like PR damage control and absolutely fucked it for himself. I think in all honesty, it's just virtual. I think in all honesty, it's just virtue signaling. Oh, I'm speaking out now because I'm better than them, but I also knew and did nothing to stop it, guys. I'm amazing still. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. One thing happens that goes absolutely terrible for another guy. They feel like they have to step in and go, oh, I did know about all this stuff, but I'm talking about it now, so it's okay. Right, guys? Right? I'm still the good guy in this situation. Right? Right, chat? Shit, even a ChatGPT PR check would have been better, which is crazy you say that, because a lot of the messages, like I was talking before, these big fucking long-winded Discord messages, emails, SMS over the last year, while Emeru's been trying to distance herself from him, she put it through a ChatGPT, like an AI checker. This guy would have failed university, is all I'm saying. Like 60% of the messages that he sent her were apparently ChatGPT. Talk about insincerity. Talk about not being able to write from the heart. I don't know what's up with this guy. I don't know what his fucking problem is. I don't know what's going through his head. But the fact that he's sitting there confirming, yes, I did say I was going to go nuclear and that I was going to end her whole fucking career. Why would you admit that? You know what you could do? You could just sit there and not say anything. Not trying to say that this is something that he should have done. But he probably could have just... And this is the problem that Emeru would have been facing at the start. He would have absolutely gone after her and had full ability to do so before, because their audiences were so overlapped. And they lived in the same fucking house. I understand why she didn't come out about it before tenfold, because she would have been actually probably in danger. Apparently, he would punch holes in the walls, and then she would throw plushies at him. And that's equivocal. Throwing plushies at a guy who's punching holes in the wall, that's unforgivable. Bloke is just an evil misogynist. Absolutely. I don't even think, like... Does this guy got an empathy bone? I don't know. He's very self-centered, is something that I've noticed from this whole situation. A lot of it is driven by his ego and his lack of being able to step back and go, okay, maybe what I'm doing is crazy. Maybe I'm the common denominator here. In this clip, he's basically talking about... Sorry, hang on. In this clip, apparently... So this is the whole thing about her killing rabbits. Her pet rabbits. Which, I don't know how they ended up getting dragged into it, becoming a fucking casualty of this whole situation. But this is the evidence, apparently.
Emeru has a lot of rabbits. It was her calling when she first moved in. These were a big part.
Also, I'm just going to say, it may be really hard to understand what he's going to say, because he hasn't turned text-to-speech off on his fucking donos. If you're going to talk about... No, hang on. I need to go nuclear about this. I need to go nuclear about this, Miskif. It's my turn, dude. If you're going to do a stream talking about these allegations from your ex-partner, which are quite serious and very heavy in nature, I'm not saying necessarily that you have to turn donations off. I understand that it's a massive part of your income, but you could at least turn text-to-speech on your stream off. This text-to-speech is literally just, I'm stroking my shit, I'm horny as fuck, man, I'm a freak, like this kind of shit. And then there's a bit at the end of this clip where the text-to-speech is just going 777777777. Like, dude, just fucking turn it off. Are you stupid? Are you actually, like, okay in the head? Leaving the text-to-speech on? It's not that hard to just push a button and turn it off. Jesus fucking Christ. Donos on during a stream for abuse allegations is wild. Yeah, exactly. It's not making him look any better whatsoever. In fact, I don't even think I can play this clip because it's fucking unintelligible. Unintelligible. Let me see if I can find the 7-7.
Being around in my house. My cleaning ladies would clean them just because they felt terrible. And my brother once came over and said, and I quote, if
you can't understand a fucking word that's going on. You know what I'm saying? And now I feel bad because I'm not actually able to show his side of the story because he like this doesn't. How the fuck am I supposed to show this and make it make sense? You know what I mean? Basically, the long and short of it, I'm going to paraphrase a little bit here. Basically, the long and short of it is his allegations against her is that she didn't really look after the rabbits, right? She had a lot of rabbits. She didn't give them food or water, left them outside in 100-degree weather, allegedly. And that is her greatest misgiving. Is not being able to look after rabbits. And throwing plushies. This one, I think I can show, is basically him apologizing for the sexual assault that happened. His lawyer is rolling around on the floor crying right now. All that's missing is unregistered Hypercam 2 logo and Sneaky Snitch playing at 5 decibel in the background. Yeah, so real. So fucking real. So insincere. It's so fucking insincere. And look at this. Look at this. Look at this clip. Right? You ready?
We broke up for about a month, then got back together because we thought we can make it work. We went to get food at BJ's, a common place where we would get food, and then we went back to her house. We cuddled for about 30 minutes and started to kiss. She said that she was okay with this on her stream, and I started to advance to the next stage because I thought that's what she wanted. She yelped, and I immediately sprung up and was scared if I did anything wrong or did wrong in general. I got scared and left the house. I apologize if that made Emmy uncomfortable for me not saying sorry, and I wish I said sorry back then. We broke up.
The only thing I can equivalate this to is Dr. Disrespect openly tweeting and then editing the tweet 3 times that he was talking to a minor on Twitch Whispers. There was no evidence that it ever actually happened. He didn't have to acknowledge that in a tweet and then edit it 3 times because he made himself sound worse. Like, this guy's PR team are having a fucking nightmare. They think this shit's a fever dream. His lawyer is actually going to commit suicide. That's all I'm gonna fucking say. And this was his final statement on the situation. Finally, he turned text-to-speech off. It only took hours of the fucking original stream.
I am going to stand up for myself. I am going to defend myself in these situations. I am not going away. I have no plans to go away. And I believe a lot of the situations today were absolutely exaggerated. I have dozens of photos and videos, calls and messages as well, if she has them. I have things I will be leaking over the next...
I don't think he watched her original fucking stream because she definitely has them.
few days of other people, of other things. I have a lot of messages that I have that I'm going to expose as time goes on, because I do believe that this is a time to go fucking buck wild. But I want to make it very clear. When it comes to Emaru, when she says that I was getting ready to go after her and that I was going to use her rabbits against her, that was never the plan. My plan for myself was very...
So why did you have the videos and this whole narrative ready already? That's my question. If that was never the plan, what did you just pluck out of thin air?
Very simple.
Okay, that was the end of the clip. But all I'm going to say is, obviously this is a fucking PR nightmare for Miskif. And if he really, really wanted to salvage the situation, he would have waited 2 or 3 days, maybe even 4 or 5. Actually collated all of this evidence that he said he's going to be dropping over the next couple of days, over the next few days, whatever. he would have collated this over the next few days and then done a stream talking about it. Instead of just going, oh fuck, I need to go clean up mode right now. And just start a stream trying to fucking rectify the situation. You know what I mean? Like, if he actually thought it through, he might have been able to not get away with it, but make himself look a lot better if he literally just waited. And if all of this stuff that he says is true, and he has all this evidence, and he has all these messages, and he has all these videos, why wouldn't he wait to collate all of this? Obviously, Emaru's been waiting a long time, not collating it, but just letting it accrue and letting it get to a point where she goes, okay, now I have to talk about this. Running it through a lawyer first, going, do you think that this is okay to say? He's just gone, oh fuck, damage control. Push the stream button. Let's start talking. I did say that I was going to go nuclear on her, and I did, and I apologize for sexually assaulting her. However, I'm sorry that I didn't say sorry at the time. Like, this is the worst possible response to any allegation I think I've ever seen from any streamer or content creator, except for Atriarch crying on stream about jacking it to Cutie Cinderella deepfakes. Yeah, it's just incredibly calculated for someone who wasn't holding this over her head. Such a fucking weird guy. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If he didn't have it ready before. Now, obviously, it seems like I'm sort of telling two different sides of the story here. I think that if he had waited longer to drop this and actually had something and ran it through his PR team and ran it through a lawyer, it would have been a lot more cohesive and made a lot more sense from his side of the story. He just went about it the wrong way. Now, I suppose we're going to see over the next couple of days whether or not the things that he says he has that are so very damning are true and are good enough evidence to vindicate him in the public eye. I just don't see it happening, to be honest, because this is just a horrible response to a horrible situation. I think he really shit the bed with this one. And that's just the Ike Palmer opinion here. One of the top comments on this clip is, wait, isn't this low-key still blackmail? So he's still doing it. It's still rolling out. Like, I just find it so fucking crazy that he's still actively doing in a public forum the things that he was alleged of doing. It's just making him look worse. He's just digging the hole deeper and doesn't know how to put a fucking step in the hole and get out. These guys, all I'm saying is, I feel so bad for Emaru, and I think this has probably been a very tough week for her. I don't think that she's necessarily going to have to not talk about this ever again like she hopes to. I feel like this is probably going to be in circulation for a while. And in the coming weeks or months, we'll see, one, what Miskif says about the whole situation, and I think also we're going to see what a lot of other Twitch streamers say to cover their own fucking bacon to make themselves look good by virtue signaling. I think it might possibly be so over for the upper echelon of Twitch, the top 1% of Twitch streamers. They're just going to have to fall off. You notice a lot of the good ones went over to YouTube. That's all I'm saying. That's all I've ever said since 2016. Twitch kind of sucks. So if you ever find yourself being a popular Twitch streamer, don't blackmail or sexually assault or sexually harass girls or anyone for that matter. Maybe that's just a hot take. Maybe that's just a fucking crazy take to be having, but we'll see how this all transpires over the next few weeks, because I have a feeling there's a whole lot more nuclear stuff coming out, and it's not from Miskif. No, guys, I didn't blackmail her, but if she keeps going, I will release damning information on her. But that's fair, I'm a good guy. No, I have to defend myself by damning her. Right? Right, chat? Oh, God, these guys are so sad. So sad and cringe and embarrassing and disgusting. Anyway, I feel like I've said my piece about this. Like I said, if you guys want to actually see Enmaru's full statement about this, the link's in the description to the YouTube video. It is about 2 hours long. I do recommend you watch all of it to get the full context to the stuff that I've spoken about in this stream. And also, if you want to do your due diligence, go watch Miskif's stream as well, just to get the full story on both sides. But from what I've seen, and I've watched both of them, Miskif's basically just trying to do damage control. I think we'll probably end the stream here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. If you guys like the stream, be sure to leave a like. If you want to subscribe, please subscribe. I've been posting a lot of shorts as well, clip farming this content. I'm not sure how I feel about clip farming this situation. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. I feel very morally a little bit icky about it, really. But ladies and gentlemen, you have been wonderful tonight, and I have been Ike Palmer. I'll see you all next week.